So family is family, whether it's the one you start out with or the one you end up with, or the family you gain along the way. There's blood family, but there's more than that. Today, I'm connected to people I grew up with. I'm connected with people I went to elementary school. That's a family for me. I'm connected with people I went to secondary school with. That's a family setup for me. I'm connected with people I went to university with. That's a family setup of me. I'm connected to people from the place I used to work 28 years ago. That's a family for me. I'm connected to people that still work where I work, and people that maybe some have retired, but we come together in one group. That's a family for me, and there's some of the gain in each of those ones, and the same requirement, they're the same requirement for the vibrancy, or the benefit, or the strength of each family, holds, is that trust, is each one carrying their own weight, you know. We're recently raising some money at my university for someone of our uh, engineers, we who run into this headers issue, and he's needing to he had an incident, and we just had to come around to help him to resuscitate. That's what family does, it's one for all for one. Uh so family is anyone who loves you unconditionally. So says a quote, family is a place where you are seen, you're heard, and you're loved. You're seen, you're heard, you're understood, and you are loved. It's a family. It's a place where your heart finds rest, right? Every place where your heart finds rest is family, right? The people in the place where your heart finds rest are your family, right? So just like the scripture will say, wherever the treasure is, there will a heart be. Wherever the family is, there will the heart be, you know? So family is God's idea, not human idea. You need to remember that. It's not a human concussion. It was God's idea to form a family. He said it is not good for man to be alone. Man needs a family, so he then takes the loners and puts them in families, right? You cannot survive in this life without a family. You cannot survive on your own in this life. You need people, support mechanism. I just shared with a friend yesterday, just telling him how all the things that I do through people, right? I have a thriving business. It's not me, you know. I have workers, I have different people that are doing things for me and they make the difference. I can't be everywhere. I can be in Lagos and in Ogun State. I can't be traveling along that road all the time. There risk involved. There's exposure to life, but if you have people, you can walk through them, right? You can walk with them. And then distance is no barrier. Distance goes away, right? We come alive when we belong to a family. Family is any place where you come alive, where you feel yourself. You are not forced, or you don't feel a sense or a need to wear a mask. Wherever you feel a sense or a need to wear a mask, it's not a family. Wherever you don't need a sense to or need to wear a mask, it's family, right? Because families are the people that allow you to be yourself. They know you, and they accept you as you are, right? So beyond the physical features that we inherit from our biological parent, we acquire habits, perspectives, and models of behavior from family members, right? You learn that from family members. So, so families being open and clear about one's experience offers an opportunity for another person to be helpful. In a family, if we're authentic, it's important to be authentic. I posted something during last week, and someone said, it was about mentoring, mentoring. Someone said that it's important for the mentor, not to sell who is not. Just like some parents will always say, oh, when I was in school, I was always a number first. If everybody was first, who was second? but we need to give realistic examples to our mentees. Be truthful. You don't have to be the first to be a mentor. You can even be a failure to be a mentor. You can mentor people how not to fail, right? So it helps. It helps the dynamics and the growth of the family if those that are ahead or if everyone is sincere. Again, trust is a big pillar here when we talk about family. So a critical link between childhood experience and positive adult social connection is our ability to process emotions. As we grow up, wherever you find ourselves, ability to process different emotions that come around us, helps us in adulthood. Unfortunately, people try to circumvent that by exposing us to things that we should not be exposed to at an early age. There's what we call the age of innocence, right? But in the age of innocence, you are assumed to be innocent, but people are taking that away by going to kindergarten to want to teach them about sexuality, at that age, and we're already trying to, as it were, pollute their innocent mind, right? Until someone is old enough to be able to reason, be able to look at two different ideas, right? And choose one as against the other without being biased. That is maturity. That is maturity. Until then, we guide children, we parent children, we don't expose them to the things they cannot understand. And even if we do that, we do it in little bits in such a way that it doesn't overwhelm them, right? So, but the normal growth, we're supposed to get exposed to things in little bits, not sudden life changes. That is not natural process, right? A critical link between childhood experience and positive adult social connection is our ability to process emotions. If I feel like this, is because, or I feel like this, how does it relate with this? There are some people who have not learned that. In scripture, the last five verses of Hebrews chapter 5 tells us that the mature person is the person who has learned, to be able to discern between good and evil. They've developed their senses to discern between good and evil by reason of usage. By reason of usage, right? We can learn that. But there are people who have not matured emotionally, right? And they don't know how to process the feelings that they have. For instance, when any athlete wants to go into performance, you start having butterflies in your stomach. And there are two different ways you can define that. You can reframe that. Champions reframe it as a feeling, a preparation to win. Losers probably see it as a handwriting on the wall saying that they are going to lose, and each gets what they are asking for, right? One begins to fret, the other one begins to rejoice because it sees it, reframes it as a readiness to win, a readiness to go and compete, right? It is from our relationship as children, especially our relationship with our family, that we first learn what to expect from others, right? We will learn what to expect from others by what we expect from our parents, our siblings, right? Those are the ones that teach us what life is, how life is supposed to be lived. And then we use that example to go live the life, right? Nature and nurture, hereditary and environmental, parenting, peers are all tightly woven together. All have served to mold each of us into the adults we are today, right? Those different things make us who we are. Uh, blood does not, blood does not family make. Those are relatives. Family are those with whom you share your good, bad, ugly, and still love one another in the end. those are the ones those are the ones you select. It's just families are the people you can, do life with, without feeling ashamed or less than you are.